mean, I think the key will be to uh, for Republicans who have spent almost as long as I can remember, me being a former Republican, by the way, that fiscal responsibility, cutting the debt and deficit, balanced budgets have been hallmarks of Republican conservatism for as long as I can remember. And even with the new CBO scoring coming out and saying like, yeah, this is going to add $1.7 trillion to the debt deficit. I don't know how anyone that claims to be Republican and claims to care about fiscal responsibility could look at this bill and think it is responsible to pass it. There's this, oh, don't worry, the money that we'll make from this over the next 10 years will offset that the deficit numbers. That's never how it actually ends up happening, by the way. Like people use accounting gimmicks all the time to justify government spending. And all that we've seen over the last 3 decades is government spending go up, the debt go up, and we have not been anywhere near close to living within our means as a government, since the 90s. And so I just think that this bill really is the death of fiscal conservatism being a hallmark principle of the
Well, I
Republican
would push
Party.
back.
So
No,
can I just
I would
go
push
ahead?
back a little
Go
bit,
ahead.
saying that I think that even during Reagan, because Reagan did honestly try to reduce spending, he cut, he vetoed 22 spending bills. He agreed to raise taxes. But once you got into the George W. Bush era, Republicans only cared about the deficit when Democrats were in control. So I think over the last 25 years, I don't think there's been any of that. And when you look at, and how many times have we been through this? Every time there's a Republican tax cut proposed, we always hear, oh, it's dynamic. Look at the Laffer curve. It's going to pay for itself. It's going to create so much growth. Don't listen to the the CBO. Their scoring is static. It's not dynamic. They don't take into account all the growth that's going to happen. We've heard that every time. Every time it's been a budget buster. At least with 1981 and 2001, you could argue that the economy was slowing down. But the 2017 tax cut was the biggest waste of all because they cut taxes when the economy was healthy. That's when you raise taxes. You cut taxes when the economy is in recession. In recession, you raise them when it's recovering or when it's doing well. Bill Clinton dispelled all these supply side theories. If you remember his tax cut in 1992, everyone from Newt Gingrich on down said it was going to torpedo the economy. We had the biggest boom in history. So it's just, then they know it's not true. It's an upward redistribution of wealth. And as a pragmatist, I have no problem celebrating wealth. That's what made this country great. I have no problem with tax cuts, but just transferring a lot of money, this bill, it transfers money from poor to rich. It transfers money from young to old. It's like the bill of the past, not a bill of the future. It's just 360 degrees of wrong.
So on that note, Dave, I have a serious question though. So 75% of our budget is entitlements and defense. Okay, so let's take off defense because everyone, yes, and everyone pretty much agrees we should have a good defense budget. So Republicans are trying to make some sort of cuts to Medicaid in regards to work requirements, undocumented individuals that are on Medicaid. And they're getting crucified for doing that. Okay, so get it. Politically, I get it 100%. But how do we get ourselves out of this mess? Or do we just go broke and then it just doesn't matter because there's no more money? Or do we start printing money
Well,
again and then there's
I think the
inflation
problem
and,
is that
all this stuff? I
well,
don't know the
Americans
answer.
love entitlements, and in some ways, it's all of us as voters that have basically okayed both parties continuously kicking the can down the road. We haven't held our political system accountable, and because everyone likes everyone likes handouts. People likes to get free stuff, and that's human nature. But that's why I think the only way that it would work is if it, and this is how it's been done before, it has to be a bipartisan effort so both parties can take cover. And it's got to be everybody sacrifices somehow. You got to have tax increases. You have to have benefit cuts. You have to have a lot of stuff. But these work requirements, okay, they tried them in Arkansas. Okay, they made in 18 with 18,000 people. It didn't reduce cost. And I think the only state in the country now that has a work requirement is Georgia. And I think even if you talk to some people there, it's been a mixed bag at best. Yes, I think that that undocumented people should not receive health care. And yes, you should weed out fraud, waste, and abuse, but the work requirement, I think, is just a red herring.